Okay, so today we're diving into this idea of making different apps talk to each other.
Yeah.
Specifically,
Right.
we've got a super practical guide here, all about connecting Google Sheets and Slack using Google Apps Script.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people are going to be excited to hear about this.
Yeah, it's like imagine your sales figures hit a new record,
Right.
and boom, your whole team is instantly celebrating on Slack,
Exactly.
all thanks to a little automation magic.
Yeah, it's interesting because what we're really talking about is bridging that gap
Okay.
between all the data that's sitting in your spreadsheets and then the real-time conversations that are happening on something like your Teams chat.
Yeah, think about it like a marketing team.
Right.
They're tracking their campaign performance,
Mm-hmm.
and they're having to manually go back and forth between spreadsheets and Slack
Yeah.
to update everybody.
It's a huge time suck.
Oh, totally.
And you know what else it is?
What's that?
It's a recipe for errors. You miss one crucial update, and you've potentially missed a big opportunity or delayed your response.
Totally. So with this automation, everybody stays informed in real time.
Exactly.
Fewer errors,
Yeah.
less manual labor.
Less stress?
I am sold. So tell me, how do we actually do this Google Apps Script?
Yeah.
It sounds like a secret code.
Well, it's more like a superpower that you can learn.
Okay, I like it.
So Google Apps Script is based on JavaScript,
Okay.
which is a pretty common language,
Mhm.
and it runs in the cloud.
Okay.
So no installations or server setups for you to worry about.
So it's like I have a direct line to Google services,
Yeah.
and I can just whisper commands to make
Yeah.
them work for me.
Exactly.
I like it.
It's pretty cool.
Why would I choose this over something like Zapier?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
So AppScript gives you way more control and customization,
Yeah.
plus no monthly fees, which is always a bonus.
Always a bonus.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see this magic in action. Let's say I'm tracking project deadlines in a Google Sheet.
Yep.
How do I get Slack to ping me the moment a task is marked complete?
Perfect example.
Yeah.
So let's break it down.
Okay.
First, your Google Sheet needs to be structured in a way that's capturing the data you want to track.
Okay.
Then over on the Slack API portal, you create an app
Uh-huh.
and you're going to configure what's called a webhook.
Okay, now we're getting technical.
So think of a webhook like a unique URL
Okay.
that acts as a messenger between the two.
Got it.
It lets your Google Sheet send messages directly to a specific Slack channel.
Okay.
So you grab that webhook URL from Slack,
Mm-hmm.
and here's where Google Apps Script comes in.
Time to put on the coding hats.
Don't worry.
Okay.
It's surprisingly user-friendly.
Okay, good.
And you know what? Your source material actually includes some basic code snippets
Oh, perfect.
that you can adapt for your own needs.
Awesome.
So the script essentially acts as a listener.
Okay.
It's monitoring your sheet for changes. When a cell is updated,
Yeah.
like if you mark a task as complete,
Right.
it triggers the script to send a detailed message to Slack.
So it's like a tripwire.
Yeah,
Something changes. Boom, message sent.
exactly.
That's cool.
It is pretty neat.
What if I only want notifications for specific updates?
Yeah,
Like, let's say a project's delayed.
right.
I don't need a Slack alert for every little change.
That makes sense. And that's where conditional triggers come in.
Okay.
So these are like if-then statements in code.
Yeah,
So your script only sends notifications when certain conditions are met.
I see.
So you can filter out all the noise and only get those critical updates.
That's efficiency.
Exactly.
So, for instance, I could get a notification only if a project deadline is pushed back by more than a week.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you can customize the message too.
Wow.
You can include specifics like the project name,
Okay.
the new deadline,
Uh-huh.
and even who made the change.
That's great.
So yeah, tailored notifications can really make a difference.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
So what stands out to you so far?
To me, I think the level of customization is really impressive. It's
Yeah.
like you're building your own personalized notification system,
Right.
but you don't need a team of developers to do it.
Exactly.
Pretty cool.
You mentioned a real-world example
Yes.
in the source material
Huh?
of a marketing firm that used AppScript to automate performance reporting.
Yeah, they were drowning in data.
Okay, it was rough.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Right.
So how did they tame this data beast?
Well, at first they made the mistake of setting up notifications for like every little change,
Okay.
and it was too much.
So more notifications doesn't always mean better insights.
Exactly. It's like the boy who cried wolf.
Right.
Too many false alarms and you start ignoring the real threats.
Totally.
So what they had to do was refine their script.
Okay.
They added those conditional triggers to filter out the noise.
So they were only getting notified for things that really mattered, like a sudden drop in click-through rates or a spike in costs.
That's a much better approach.
Yeah, right.
So it's not just about automating everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's about automating strategically.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Their response time must have improved dramatically.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Wow.
Yeah, and it led to better performance overall.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great case study
Yeah,
for how automation can really move the needle.
absolutely.
Now, before we get carried away with all this,
Yeah.
what are some challenges that we should watch out for?
Yeah, you don't want to accidentally unleash a notification monster on your team.
Right.
One potential challenge is hitting Slack's rate limits.
Okay.
So basically, if you send too many notifications too quickly, Slack might pump the brakes.
Okay, so there are limits to how much automation we can throw at it.
Yeah, you got to work within the system's constraints.
Makes sense.
Right.
What about handling really large data sets?
Yeah.
Can AppScript keep up if my spreadsheets are bursting at the seams?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Even with complex data apps, Script has the tools to manage and process it really efficiently.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so you can do things like batch multiple updates into a single notification
Okay.
or filter data based on specific criteria.
So we're giving AppScript the tools it needs to do the heavy lifting.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're just scratching the surface here.
Yeah.
But before we go any deeper,
Okay.
I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay.
Think about all those repetitive tasks you do every day.
Mm-hmm.
Checking spreadsheets.
Yep.
Sending updates.
Yeah.
Copying and pasting information.
Well,
What if you could automate all that away?
I like it.
What would be the first thing you liberate yourself from?
It's a great question.
Share your thoughts in the comments.
Yes, please do.
We'd love to hear your ideas.
Yeah.
We'll be back to explore even more powerful techniques in the next part, like conditional triggers and custom formatting. So stay tuned.
Definitely do.
Welcome back.
Let's talk more about these conditional triggers.
Yeah.
They're like the brains behind smart automation, right?
Exactly. They give you so much control over when those notifications are actually sent.
Okay.
So imagine
Yeah.
you're managing your sales team's performance in a Google Sheet.
Okay.
You have a column for each salesperson's monthly sales target
Uh.
and another for their actual sales figures.
Okay, so instead of getting notified every time somebody makes a sale,
Right.
I only want to know when they exceed their target.
Exactly.
Got it.
With a conditional trigger, you can set up AppScript to monitor those columns,
Okay.
and it'll only send a Slack notification when the actual sales figure goes above the sales target.
I like that.
Right.
It's like we're celebrating the big wins,
Yeah,
but we're not overwhelming everybody with constant updates.
exactly. And you know what else you can do?
What's that?
You can use custom formatting to take things even further.
Okay, how so? So let's say you want to highlight those overachievers in your spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe give them a special color,
Okay.
or even send a more personalized message to Slack.
Like, high five salesperson name, you crushed it this month.
Exactly. You got it.
I love it.
It's all about making those notifications more meaningful and engaging.
Not just a stream of data points.
Right. You want it to be
Right.
useful information.
Exactly. Now, one thing that comes to mind is
Huh.
we need to be careful with sensitive information.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. I don't want to accidentally broadcast confidential data to the wrong people.
That's a great point. So when you're working with sensitive data,
Yeah.
you can actually implement what are called content filters in your app script.
Okay.
This prevents things like personal identification numbers
Okay.
or financial details
Right.
from being included in those Slack notifications.
So we're adding a safety net
Exactly.
to make sure we're sharing the right information with the right people.
I like the way you put that, a safety net. That's a good analogy.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about Google Sheets sending information to Slack.
Mm-hmm.
What about the other way around?
Oh, yeah.
Can I use Slack to actually trigger changes in my spreadsheet?
Absolutely.
Okay, now we're talking.
Right.
That opens up a ton of possibilities.
So imagine you get a Slack notification about a new customer inquiry.
Okay.
And with one click, you can add their information right into your CRM spreadsheet.
That's awesome.
Right. It's a powerful stuff.
Yeah, so it's two-way communication between my systems.
Exactly.
I can see this being super useful for like a project manager
Oh, yeah.
who's assigning tasks to their team
Totally.
right from a project tracking sheet
Yeah,
using Slack buttons.
exactly. Or a marketing team using a Slack form to gather feedback on a new campaign.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then it automatically populates a spreadsheet.
For analysis,
Exactly.
the possibilities are huge.
They really are. It's exciting.
But this level of integration,
Yeah.
it sounds like I need to be a coding wizard.
Well, it's definitely more advanced, but remember, okay, Google Apps Script is designed to be accessible. There are so many resources available online, tutorials, documentation, even pre-built code snippets that you can adapt.
Oh, perfect.
So you don't have to be a coding wizard.
I can get by with a little help from the internet.
Exactly. The internet is your friend.
Okay, good.
You got this.
So we talked about the technical side of things,
Mhm.
but I want to step back for a second and look at the bigger picture.
Okay.
What does this rise of automation really mean for the future of work?
That's a big question, and I think it's easy to get caught up in those sci-fi scenarios where robots take over everything.
Right.
But, the reality is that while automation will change certain tasks,
Yeah.
it also opens up brand new opportunities and roles.
So it's not about replacing humans.
No, it's about empowering them.
Okay.
It's about humans and technology working together.
Yeah, each playing to their strength.
Exactly. Imagine a future where all those mundane tasks are handled automatically. And we can focus on things that require human ingenuity,
Yeah.
problem-solving innovation, things like that.
And what would you automate away if you could?
That's a good question.
It really makes you think
Yeah, it does.
about how we're spending our time and energy.
And that's something we'll keep exploring as we go even deeper into this world.
Okay.
In our next segment, we're going to uncover even more advanced techniques.
Like what?
We're talking about things like embedding charts directly into your Slack messages.
Okay.
So don't miss it. All right, welcome back for the final part of our deep dive.
I'm excited to see what else we can do with this.
Yeah, we've covered the basics,
Mhm.
but now it's time to push those boundaries.
I like it. So in the last part, you teased embedding charts directly into Slack.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds amazing.
It is pretty cool.
So tell me more.
Well, it's all about making data easier to digest and actually use.
Okay.
Visuals are way better at communicating insights than just raw numbers.
That's true.
Imagine getting a Slack notification with a beautifully formatted chart, showing your team's progress on a project,
Okay.
all without even leaving Slack.
I'm sold. How do we make this happen?
Surprisingly, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
You create the chart you want using Google Sheets.
Mm-hmm.
They have all those built-in charting tools, and then AppScript jumps in, converts that chart into an image,
Okay.
and attaches it to your Slack message.
Seamless.
Seamlessly, that's the key word.
So AppScript is like my behind-the-scenes assistant.
Exactly. It handles all the technical stuff, so you don't have to.
Perfect. And think about how powerful this could be for like performance updates.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting data trends, visualizing project progress.
It's a game changer.
It is. Before we wrap up, I have to ask, what's next for this whole workflow automation thing?
Well, one area that I'm really excited about is AI.
Okay, now we're talking next level.
AI-powered spreadsheets.
What does that even look like?
It's closer than you think.
Okay.
Imagine using AI to actually analyze your data trends. And then it automatically generates insights and recommendations.
Wow.
And then it delivers all that right to your Slack channel.
So instead of just getting the raw data, I'm getting actionable advice.
That's the goal.
So we're moving beyond just automating tasks.
Right.
We're automating intelligence.
It's like having a superpowered virtual assistant
Okay.
who's constantly learning and getting better.
That's a little scary, but also amazing.
It is. It's powerful stuff.
This makes me realize how much potential there is for technology to just totally transform the way we work.
It really does. And this is just the beginning.
I believe it.
As AI keeps advancing, we're going to see even more innovative applications.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
I really hope they've gained a new appreciation for what workflow automation can do.
Yeah.
It's not just about saving time. It's
Yeah.
about working smarter, making better decisions, and ultimately unlocking new levels of creativity and productivity.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We explored so much today,
We did.
from the basics of Google Apps, script and Slack integration,
Yep.
to advanced techniques, and even a glimpse into that AI-powered future.
It's exciting stuff.
It is. It might seem a little daunting at first,
Yeah.
but with a little curiosity and experimentation, I think anybody can harness the power of automation.
Absolutely.
And the learning never stops.
It's true.
Technology is constantly evolving.
It is.
The possibilities for automation are only going to grow.
That's right. So stay curious.
Keep experimenting.
And never stop learning.
Couldn't agree more. It's been a pleasure exploring this world with you.
Likewise.
Thank you to all our listeners for joining us on this incredible deep dive.
Yes, thank you.
We want to hear from you. So if you have any thoughts on the Radio4 Automation's success stories, share them in the comments below.
We'd love to hear them.
Until next time, happy automating.
Happy automating.